And spawning in the top right hand corner of Data C ESL, we have the Polish Terran player himself. He is orange, representing KZ Gaming. KZG. It is Spirit. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Data C ESL, we have the Croatian Protoss player representing Team Roddy. It is Goblin. Slowly Ron saying in the chat, Harstam will watch carefully. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Harstam has plenty of time to make some coffee, boil some water, get some food, chill out, you know, and sit back and watch this series as he is waiting in the next round for the winner of this series. Oh boy. And we'll see how this does end up going here. So far, just a regular probe scout going across the map. We did see the Vindicta had a pretty interesting style, a very active drop-heavy style. But Spirit, you know, especially Europe in general, they have a slightly different meta at times, and they have slightly different ways of playing. Spirit is his own person. He is his own player. So we'll see what his approach is here to Protoss. Again, we do have Goblin being as annoying as possible, tasing away at that building SCV, forces the second SCV out from Spirit, just to make sure that his Rax is uninterrupted and his base gets uninterrupted as well. As Goblin, he swoops around, is going to try and get here in time. It looks like he will. In a couple of moments, we have 400 minerals, and every second that passes is that much more inefficient here for Spirit. Oh my god. So tries to keep up and eventually forces the probe out and does get his base on location. These Protoss players, The other important thing to take note of is that Spirit is going for a Reaper first, not a Marine, so he's a little bit more concerned with scouting, going across the map, shutting down this probe. And less so being greedy. Reaper zooming across the map. The Reaper cliff is already covered here. Stargate gets thrown down by Goblin. Once again, every single game in the previous series against Vindicta, he opened up Stargate. Likewise, we have a Stargate here in the first game against Spirit. Gonna be sneaking on in, and pretty interesting. Instead of going straight into the natural, into the main base, he goes to the natural, gonna force a little bit of less mining time, more concerned with economic damage, and I think that makes a lot of sense, just because, I mean, there's no rush to scout. The Stargate, I mean, you're gonna see it as soon as you go up this ramp. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. Spirit, he zooms on in and he confirms, okay, nothing crazy is going on. You are Goblin, you are on Team Roddy, and it's all about them Stargates. Ooh, interesting move though. He actually went for a reactor on the factory, so gonna be a little bit greedy here, gonna have less anti-air to work with, but he is going to have Hellions instead, so a much more aggressive opener from Spirit. What he lacks because of this is there is no tech lab on the factory, which means that there is no Cyclone, so he's going to be relying a lot more on this Viking to make sure that the Oracle doesn't get too many probe kills. Meanwhile, here we go. Hellions are going to just run past these Adepts, going to go straight to the mineral line and roast up these probes. And how many probes can they get? Already one going down, almost a second. They do not line up. 2 probes in total so far, and could he get a third? Can he get a fourth? He gets 4, 5, 6, almost 6. 6 probes in the end do get taken out. 6 as well as, oh my god, he's not done. The other 2 Hellions come in, but they do get cleaned up immediately. Don't get any additional workers. So 6 probes for 4 Hellions. Was it worth it there for Spirit? Maybe. I mean, Hellions, they don't have any added value as the game goes on, so we want to get rid of them. What's important though is that they forced the first Oracle to stay at home and use its pulsar beam defensively instead of offensively, which means Spirit, he can, you know, he doesn't or didn't need as much to defend. We have that Viking, and it does force Goblin all the way back, forces a revelation, and Spirit, he's gotten away with, again, having very little at home to defend. So far, a pretty good opener from Spirit. Goblin already throwing down his 3rd Nexus. Behind this, he's going for a Twilight Council. We don't see any continued Oracle or even Phoenix production. Makes plenty of sense. Triple Oracle is all we need, and with Triple Oracle, we can do a lot. So far, they haven't done anything. They've only gotten a revelation, but oh, the Viking positioning is so good here from Spirit. Does predict his natural. Not gonna lie, I'm also a little bit shocked, despite the fact that we have triple Oracle. Like, we don't even have any missile turrets in the mineral lines. Like, Spirit is being so greedy and so efficient here so far. I say efficient, I only say efficient until like workers start dying. Like, he's getting away with it so far. Oh god! Oh, not paying attention there for a second. One Oracle already goes down. Stasis Trap is going to go up on the Viking, and that's going to really limit the amount of anti-air we have here for Spirit. You know, we see a scan already, a couple of Marines getting picked off here by these Stalkers, a tank rocking on up, but the Oracle's coming from behind, and they focus down the tank. And this is what I mean, without the Cyclone, there's nothing to stop these Oracles. The entire push gets shut down. Felt like we had a really good start for Spirit, but the follow-up push does kind of fall in its face a little bit. He did get an Oracle, sure, but losing a tank is something you never want to see, and we have a bit of a misrally here. The tank, we can't just throw away a second tank. Okay. Spirit, please. He does turn around. He will not be punished for the misrally. He will bring his tank back home. Can Goblin punish it again? I was like, if he sees this, can he punish it? Nah, it's all good. The Marines meet up as well. Stim is on the way. 1-1. Combat shields. All that good stuff. As Spirit, he takes his third. Again, a lot of Terran players, they stay on two bases quite a bit longer, and they focus on their army and they focus on drops. Spirit is not that kind of player, though. Only relied on 3 Raxes before starting his third CC and landing on location. So a much more economic focus here from Spirit. In general, I feel, even based off of the opener. So yeah, it's cool to see the dichotomy of how both Spirit and Vindicta approach this matchup. Meanwhile, Goblin gonna try. Oh my god! Oh my god! Goblin, it almost looked like he was queued up to try and like blink into the main or something like that, but he loses three Stalkers already. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, these mistakes aren't very characteristic, but it's getting late in Europe. What time is it? What, 2 a.m.? 3 a.m.? it's 2 a.m. at the moment, and you know that as the series goes on, you know, I don't know. I'm worried a little bit here for Goblin. Here we go. We have another stim on forward. Oracle gets picked off. Goblin did blink away with his Stalkers, but left his Oracle completely idle. Again, a couple of units being picked off here and there for Goblin. Meanwhile, here we go. Spirit pushing out across the map with everything he has. What does he have in general? 4 tanks here, a Cyclone, 20 Marines. And there are no stasis traps to slow him down. The Oracles have slowly been picked off one after the other, and because of that, Spirit just has so much momentum. A couple of DTs are being morphed in. They do get spotted here by the scan. Tanks leapfrogging forward. Third base is going to be under threat, and Goblin can't really do too much here. We do have a DT coming in from the backline, and that will definitely help. If we have a scan, one tank will go down. See it unsiege instead. Oh my god. The stutter stepping is real. DT still just slashing away at the army, but it's only a single DT. Third base does go down in Spirit. He's not content with just the third. He wants to keep on going. And GG gets called. Spirit takes the first game. With a very strong tank push there. And again, I was just really impressed with how little Spirit used to defend. Again, just using the best defense can sometimes be a strong offense. On top of that, going for a fast third base, getting saturated incredibly quickly, and working on that big tank push. Ooh. When it comes to the side of Goblin, again, just like a couple too many mistakes there. Specifically losing those Oracles, that's brutal. Like, Oracles, they're not just used to harass, they're used for revelations, to keep tags on the army, so you know as soon as the army moves out, you have vision of it, and you can start to prepare. You can get shield batteries, you can throw down stasis traps to, again, slow down the army, maybe be able to even catch that army in the middle of the map as well. But opening up triple Oracle and losing all your Oracles in the fashion that he did, yeah, wasn't pretty. Meanwhile, here we go. We are now getting into game number 2. Hopefully Goblin can tighten things up a little bit because yeah, there in the first game, Spirit was in full control. Whether it's, you know, being tired because it's late, or maybe it's a mental thing against Spirit. Spirit is a pretty big name in Europe, and I don't know if Goblin, you know, has a little bit of fear in him. Maybe he's a little bit, is a little bit in awe, as his opponent is here. In the bottom right hand corner of Moondance ESL, we have the Polish Terran player himself representing KyZ Gaming. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Moondance ESL, we have the Croatian Protoss player representing Team Roddy. It is Goblin. Stumbling in the first game, but if you remember, Goblin also lost the first game against Vindicta as well, and then he was able to bring it back in the end, and I'm sure that's what he can do here. I'm sure he is more than capable of taking it all the way to the ace match, and we'll see how he can do here on Moondance. Again, one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool. We have pocket bases, we have ramps, we have rocks, we have a short rush distance by ground as well, so pushes can hit that much harder. And we also have proxy locations. Is he going for the Stargate? Oh my god, no! Don't like this, Papi, don't like this. Okay, we do have a proxy here in the natural base of Spirit. Spirit so far hasn't checked it, and something that has been making the rounds has been proxies in the pocket. Just because pocket bases are so quote-unquote new to the meta, because they've been out of the meta for 2, 3, 4 years, players, they're not used to scouting. And just like that, Spirit is going across the map with his SCV. He hasn't checked his main base. Hasn't checked his pocket base. This is terrifying. So I thought he was going to meme it up a little bit more. We have seen a couple of players, Trigger specifically, go for proxy Stargate here in the natural and throw down shield batteries and siege the main base. Is disgusting. Goblin isn't going that crazy, only a gateway here in the main. We're gonna have a Zealot coming out, Cybercore finishes up, and we will have a Stalker, and the goal here of this proxy is to deny and even cancel the natural base. Oh boy. Here we go. Zealot is already rushing across the map. We already have a Stalker being chronoed out across the map as well. Here comes an Adept. So a bit of a 1-1-1. Stalker, Zealot, Adept coming out here. Meanwhile, the Marine is going to check the pocket and, finally does see the Adept. I'm seeing a bunker being thrown down here. Is the bunker going to finish up? No, it is not. It barely is going to finish. And honestly, that's pretty huge, but the CC is going to be delayed. We have no building SCV here on the low ground. Stalker about to rock up, and there's nothing in that bunker, so the bunker, it's just buying time more than anything. We have a bunker here in the main base as well. Uno más. SCV does go down. And it looks like Goblin wants to get a little bit more damage. There we go. We see the cancel of the natural base. The damage has been done, and Goblin can expand. Now working with these shields just to get a little bit more value. The Stalkers do have high ground vision because of the shade. Going to be able to maybe pick off at a depot. Oh. Flying a little bit too close to the sun there. Shade, puppy, shade. There we go. Bunker's going to go down as well. Already an amazing start here for Goblin. We see a cancel. Looking at the units lost tab. 4 SCVs, 3 Marines, a bunker, and a depot. That was a kill, not a salvage on that bunker, by the way. And he can just keep going. This depot is so ambitious. Ay. And now with this tank, it looks like Spirit will finally maintain control of his main base. He's going for his CC. I was curious if he was going to go for a drop and go for like a 1-1-1 because of his delayed CC, but no, there is no starport. He is still trying to expand. And again, now Goblin can kind of run away with this. We have our Nexus, we have a Stargate as well to go into our Oracle. SCV goes down, looking at the vision. What's scary? Okay, what I was going to say is what's scary is that we don't have a Reaper, so we don't have a Scout for Spirit. But it looks like the Stargate was seen earlier, so Spirit knows to prepare himself for the Oracle. He should know to prepare himself. There we go. I was like, where's the Cyclone, puppy? Where's the Cyclone? There it is. We have a Cyclone on the way. Cyclone will not come out in time though, and the Oracle is going to slip into the main, and there is nothing that shoots up here. We have Marines, but they're a little bit out of position. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Can we get 4? Can we even get 3? We'll get 3. 3 SCVs do go down in the end. Even a couple of Marines as well for good measure. Again, these are stimless Marines, so they have a hard time keeping up with that Oracle. What's important is that he also scouts the 3rd TC. We have 1-1 into a faster TC. It makes sense. Spirit needs to catch up, right? He's down when it comes to workers. His natural base is so late in comparison. Because of that, his entire build is late. So to catch up, why not take a 3rd, and why not take your natural, or take your pocket base, I should say. Meanwhile, here we go. The army of Spirit is moving out across the map. This isn't spotted, by the way. It looks like the Stalkers will finally get eyes on this. Now Goblin is forced to turn around. Oh, Phoenixes are not ideal right now, by the way. They are not what we want to see. Goblin maybe being a little bit too greedy, going for a 3rd base here. The army does siege up. We do see Goblin trying to dive on top of this. The Phoenixes are going to be able to CC these tanks. And I was worried the Phoenixes weren't going to be what he needs, but it turns out it's exactly what he needs. The first tank does go down. Second one will survive, and because of that, we should see it cancel. Up. Oh my god. We don't see it cancel. That was a kill, by the way. Goblin slipping up a little bit here. He is going to be able to take down this tank in the end, but it's taking him so much, and then he doesn't even get it. Oh no. Meanwhile, across the map, the Oracle also was on hold position and got shot down by the Cyclone as well. Spirit doing an insane amount of damage right now. He's still behind economically. He's still down in the workers, but it's okay. He's got an orbital. He's got a 3rd TC. Oh, and Goblin forced to expand here in the pocket. Ay. And we even had an SCV here to repair. That's probably the worst part here. So the tank gets topped up. Spirit just unsieges, turns around, goes back home. And he's done a great job at coming back here. The worker counts are slowly evening up. Spirit soon, there we go. 3rd base is going to be on location. We have triple mule production as well. We only lost 1 tank in that attack. Only 1. And we'll see if Goblin can come back a little bit more. I mean, he has a lot of Phoenixes, and you can always get value with Phoenixes, right? Whether it's workers, whether it's units as well. Gets an SCV. As long as he can keep these Phoenixes alive, yeah, he even gets a Cyclone. Ugh, barely doesn't actually. Oh my god. Yeah, at least he's able to get a little bit of value, a little bit of damage. He doesn't lose any Phoenixes in the process, so it's still worth it, still worth it. Stim is so delayed, by the way, so without Stim, it looks like, oh god. Doesn't get the Cyclone again. We have a scan. It looks like the Phoenix will barely survive. Ooh. And I'm just quickly checking, but we have charge, so we could see a move here where Goblin dives on this army. Because of his Phoenix count, he lifts up every single tank, and the Zealots go to town. But Spirit is preparing himself for that. We have depots, we have bunkers. This position cannot be broken, and I hope once Goblin sees this, he doesn't try to force the issue. He's thinking about it. Don't do it, Papi, don't do it. He's just making nothing but Zealots back at home. He's just trying to reinforce. Again, the rush distance by ground is very short, and it's very tempting to go in. Oh, and it looks like he's going to pull the trigger. We'll see if he can break this location. We have 3 tanks in the back line. Boys are being pulled as well. The Zealots are not getting anywhere near this, but the tanks are being CC'd. They are being lifted up, and the Zealots are breaking on through. Oh, I thought that this position was going to be a little bit too heavily fortified, but you know what? Zealots are pretty good units, and all the tanks go down. The Marines are doing what they can, but without Stim, specifically because Stim isn't done, Goblin is doing it. Oh my god, but how did he know? Yeah, it was just barely enough. 19 SCVs go down. The CC taking a lot of damage. Finally, Stim finishes, but all the Marines are gone at this point. Oh my god, that was such a close timing, by the way. I was so worried, but in the end, Goblin, he takes the base. He's going to get a couple of depots as well. And he doesn't have to force the issue. He doesn't have to push into the natural. He can back off from here. Of course, he doesn't want to. He wants to make life difficult to try and re-expand. He wants to keep his opponent contained. Ooh. Juicy Widowmane shots do go off on those Phoenixes, though. Does that make it worth of a spirit? Not really. But it's something. See where we go from here. There we go. 4th base on the way for Goblin. Now that he has the map control, he knows that he can be a little bit greedier. Spirit, not quite forced all in, but he is forced to push out. I don't know if this is the best move. He does have a couple of Widow Mines and he does have Stim. We don't have the Zealot count to really abuse this, so yeah, Goblin is forced to respect it. He has to back off. Spirit taking his 3rd base here behind. And with the leapfrog of these Widow Mines, Spirit, can he take this fight? The Widow Mine, the first one already gets lifted up here. The second one as well. And without any Widow Mine shots going off, it looks like it may not even matter. The Stim Marines are just doing so much. I say Stim Marines. I should say Marines with 1-1 and Stim. Spirit punishing this 4th base. Goblin, he's forced to make a decision. Does he want to try and save it? He's going to try it. It does take a Widow Mine shot to the face, though. And the 4th base is going to fall. Very nicely done here by Spirit. We saw how vulnerable he was earlier, but mate, give this man Stim and he can do it. He can make wonders happen, mate. Every single Widow Mine gets lifted up this time, but it doesn't even matter. We have too many Marines. His outs get picked off one after the other, and Spirit is breaking the spirit of his opponent. GG gets called. Goblin taps out, and Spirit takes the series 2-0. Wow. I am shocked, mate. I thought Spirit was in such a difficult position after losing all of his tanks, after losing all of his Marines. But hitting that 1-1 timing, I mean, I feel like I gotta respect it a little bit more. I think what's more impressive is that we had like 1, maybe 2 Widow Mine shots connect, you know? Goblin was doing a great job at lifting them up with his Phoenixes, at shutting them down before any shots went off. Despite that, despite those Widow Mines not really coming into play, the power of that bio was insane. Oof. GG, well played. Very well played there. Spirit does take the series, and he's going to be moving on. I know I did a poor job at keeping this out-of-game scene updated, but there we go. GG, well played. And where is Ice Scar? I gotta let him know.